This video is about Freyja summons warriors until giant overwhelms. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how I pulled you into the adventure. In the time before time, when the roots of Yggdrasil entwined the realms of men and gods, a chill wind swept through Asgard, heralding the approach of dark days. Beneath the watchful gaze of the All-Father Odin, the peace that once flourished began to fray, unraveling like an ancient tapestry. The heavens trembled under the weight of a growing storm, and at its eye stood Freyja, the goddess of love and war, her heart heavy with foreboding. Freyja was known for her beauty that could charm the fiercest of beasts, yet few knew the depth of her sorrow. The whispers of fate carried on the winds told of an ancient giant, Ymir's kin, stirring from his slumber beneath the mountains. His stirrings brought with them a foreboding, a promise of calamity that threatened not only Asgard, but all realms of existence. Gathering her strength, Freyja ascended to the hall of Valhalla, where the bravest of warriors awaited the call to glory. The walls echoed with the laughter of heroes long fallen in battle, their spirits forever yearning for combat. Yet tonight, the hall was draped in an uneasy silence, the shadows lurking like serpents ready to strike. Warriors! Freyja's voice rang out, rich as the golden fields of Vanheim. In the wake of Ymir's kin, I call upon you. We face a darkness that will not relent. We must unite or perish beneath the weight of his fury. Her words ignited a fire within the hearts of those who had once fought valiantly in life. From the shadows emerged the valiant Sigurd, slayer of dragons, his eyes glinting with the ferocity of battle. Beside him stood Brynhild, the Valkyrie, wielding a spear forged in the fires of Muspelheim, her spirit bound by honor and the call of destiny. "What must we do, goddess?" Sigurd asked, his voice steady, laced with determination. "Lead us, and we shall stand against this giant." Freyja stepped closer, her gaze piercing through the dim light. "We shall summon the spirits of warriors long lost, those who still cling to the memory of glory. Together, we shall stand united against this looming threat, but be warned, the path will be fraught with peril." Among the assembled warriors, whispers transformed into fervent pledges. Each was bound by an oath, ignited by the flame of honor and the promise of Valhalla's glory. Yet, as the fire crackled and the hearts of the brave swelled, the shadows of doubt crept in, gnawing at their resolve. "Freyja," Brynhild interjected, her brow furrowed in concern. "The giant's rage is not to be underestimated. We may summon the dead, but will they heed the call? What if the bonds of fate be severed?" Freyja's eyes narrowed, a mix of weariness and fierce determination etching lines upon her brow. "If we are to conquer, we must not only summon our allies but also seek the strength within ourselves. Warriors of old shall rise, but not without sacrifice. Are you prepared for what may come?" "Yes," they roared in unison, their voices echoing against the ancient stone walls, reverberating through the very fabric of existence. With the sun dipping beneath the horizon, Freyja raised her hands to the heavens, summoning the winds of fate. The air shimmered, charged with latent power, and the ground trembled as she carved runes of invocation into the sacred soil. Each stroke resonated with the spirits, coaxing them from their eternal slumber. As the final rune was inscribed, a tempest roared to life, swelling around the hall, pulling at the edges of existence. From its heart, figures began to materialize, ethereal warriors clad in the armor of ages long past, their faces marked by glory and tragedy. The hall was filled with the mournful echoes of forgotten battles, and the air thickened with the weight of their legacy. Among the newly summoned was Ragnar, a king once revered across the 9 realms, his fierce spirit unmatched. He stepped forward, his ghostly sword gleaming in the dim light. "Freyja, we have answered your call, yet we feel the chains of death. Tell us, what lies ahead?" The giant rises, driven by wrath unparalleled, Freyja replied, her voice steady, despite the tremors in her heart. "Together, we must stand against him and defend our realms from impending doom." Ragnar's eyes flared with ancient fire. "We shall carve our names into the annals of fate, fearless for the weak. We are warriors." But as the night deepened, a shadow loomed over the land, billowing like a thundercloud, rising from the depths of the mountains. The giant Galdir, awakened by the tumult of the divine summons, roared with fury that shook the very foundations of the world. He was a behemoth with skin like stone, eyes reflecting the wrath of ages, and a heart that beat with malice. His laughter echoed through the valleys, sending tremors across the plains. "Freyja, you summon the dead. Foolish goddess, their glory is but a whisper against my strength. I will crush your hopes beneath my heel." With a swift motion, he hurled boulders as large as mountains, crashing into the mighty walls of Asgard. The grand citadel shuddered, and the ground quaked beneath the weight of his might. The warriors summoned by Freyja felt the fear creeping in, but they stood resolute, their spirits ignited by the call of their goddess. "Brace yourselves." Freyja commanded, her voice slicing through the panic. "We will not falter, prepare for battle." The warriors, emboldened by their shared purpose, rallied together. Brynhild soared above them, her wings unfurling like a storm, charging the giant from the skies. Sigurd and Ragnar led the charge on the ground, their swords singing in harmony with the chants of valor. The first clash resounded like thunder, the earth rattling beneath their feet as sword met stone. The warriors struck with precision, each blow ringing with centuries of valor, each clash echoing their legacy. But Galdyr's strength was immense. He swung his monstrous fists, sending warriors sprawling, their spirits wavering. "Fight, my brothers!" Sigurd yelled, rallying the fallen to rise again, their ghostly forms weaving amongst the stones of the battlefield. "Our time is now." Yet as the battle raged, the giant seemed to grow ever more powerful. With each blow he dealt, he absorbed the very essence of the warriors, feeding upon their courage, drawing strength from their desperation. Freyja watched in horror, her heart battling against despair. Each valiant warrior lost fueled the giant's rampage, painting the ground crimson with the remnants of honor. "Freyja!" Brynhild cried, her voice strained as she soared back to the ground, wounded and weary. "We cannot withstand his fury, he devours our strength." Ragnar fell at her side, his ethereal form flickering like a dying flame. "We must find another way, goddess, a sacrifice may be the key to our victory." Freyja's heart clenched tight, the weight of destiny heavy upon her shoulders. The threads of fate twisted around her, demanding an answer. But at what cost? To lose those we have just summoned would be a tragedy beyond measure. "Sometimes, to save many, you must be willing to lose some," Ragnar whispered, his ghostly visage shimmering as if already fading. "A brave heart can change the course of fate." Freyja felt tears well in her eyes, yet she knew the truth of his words. With a heavy heart, she raised her hands once more, weaving into the fabric of existence a final prayer, a plea for strength, a yearning for sacrifice. "Fallen warriors, hear my call. We must unite our essence to stop this beast. Who among you will give up their spirit to weave a bond strong enough to vanquish Galjo?" Silence enveloped the battlefield, broken only by the distant sounds of chaos. Yet from the ranks of the brave, one voice rose above the clamor. "I will," Brynhild declared, her spirit ablaze with honor. "I will not let my brothers fall to this darkness. My sacrifice shall ensure your victory." "That," Sigurd shouted, stepping forward, desperation clashing with valor. "You cannot, we fight as one." But Brynhild's gaze was unwavering, a fierce determination etched upon her features. "To win this battle, we must bind our spirits together. We can create a force he cannot withstand. My life for the light of Asgard." As the words left her lips, Freyja felt the heavens tremble, the very fabric of destiny shifting. This was the moment that would either seal their fates or shatter the chains of despair. With a heavy heart, Freyja nodded, understanding the price of their impending victory. "Then let it be so." In that moment, the air crackled with energy as Brynhild stepped forth, her spirit entwining with those of the fallen warriors. The essence of their bravery surged forth, weaving a tapestry of light amidst the gathering storm. But as the shimmering light coalesced, Galjo erupted into a furious roar that shook the heavens, his eyes blazing with a primal fury. His massive limbs swept through the air, sending tremors of fear cascading through the ranks of Freyja's warriors. "You think your pathetic sacrifice can challenge me? I am the storm, I am the wrath of the mountains." As Brynhild's spirit merged with her fallen comrades, the tapestry of light expanded, illuminating the battlefield with a radiant glow. "We shall carve our names into the heart of this darkness," echoed the voices of the fallen, their collective might surging in unison. In that moment, warriors long lost stood shoulder to shoulder with Brynhild, their spirits entwined, ready to face the behemoth. Freyja, feeling the energy pulse through her, lifted her arms high, the glow wrapping around her as she intoned an ancient incantation. The air thickened with magic, swelling like a tempest around her as she summoned the very essence of love and war. "Let the bonds of sacrifice be our strength, let bravery illuminate this darkness." Galdir, sensing the shift, turned his great head, his gaze locking onto Freyja. "You think you can challenge a giant with mere whispers of glory? I will crush your hopes and dance upon your shattered dreams." With that, he lifted one colossal leg, ready to bring it crashing down upon the gathered warriors. "Now," Brynhild's voice rang through the collective consciousness of the summoned. "We rise together." With a tremendous force, the warriors surged forward, the waves of light erupting from within their hearts. They charged at Galdir, a brilliant display of ethereal might, each step resonating with the courage of their sacrifice. Sigurd led the charge, his sword gleaming, an extension of his will. "Fight for the realms, fight for each other," he cried, his voice a rallying cry that bolstered their spirits. The impact of their charge met Galdir with a thunderous clash. Brynhild's spirit, now a radiant beacon, soared above the fray, raining down strikes of magical energy. Each pulse was a reminder of her resolve, a testament to the power of sacrifice. "Together, we are unbroken," she shouted, her voice reverberating through the battlefield. Galdir swung his massive fists, but the warriors of light danced around him, their movements fluid and precise. Each strike he dealt was met with the collective force of the spirits, their essence mingling and solidifying into an impenetrable wall of defiance. Ragnar and Sigurd charged from opposite ends, their swords slashing through the air, each blow resonating with the weight of their legacy. But the giant's rage could not be quelled so easily. With a bellow that echoed like thunder, Galdir unleashed a whirlwind of stone and debris, scattering the warriors like leaves in a storm. "You are nothing but echoes of the past. I shall feast upon your despair," he roared, his laughter mingling with the howls of the wind. "Hold fast." Brynhild's spirit surged, illuminating the darkness with renewed vigor. "Let the strength of our bond shield us. We fight not just for glory, but for the very essence of our realms." As they regrouped, Freyja felt the weight of 1,000 tragedies pressing upon her. The souls entwined in battle were not just echoes of the past, they were the embodiment of honor and sacrifice, each moment resonating with their lost lives. She turned to her warriors, their faces alight with determination. "We are the guardians of Asgard. The strength of our unity will forge a path through this darkness." With newfound resolve, they rallied around her, forming a tight circle infused with the glow of Brynhild's spirit. Galdir, sensing the tightening of their ranks, prepared for another onslaught. "Fools, you think your numbers will save you. You will be crushed beneath my might." But Freyja raised her hand, the light pulsing in sync with her heart. "Listen to the whispers of the ancients. In our unity lies the power to overcome." As the words left her lips, the spirits surged forward, intertwining their energies, forming a radiant spear directed at Galdir. "You dare launch your light against me?" Galdir snarled, his eyes narrowing. "Come then, let me taste your brave essence." With a roar, he charged, but the warriors stood their ground, their spirits woven together in a tapestry of unwavering strength. Brynhild's voice echoed, "For honor, for the realms, let us strike as one." The radiant spear surged forward, colliding with Galdir's chest in an eruption of light and power, the shockwave rippling outward across the battlefield. The giant staggered back, his roar of surprise transforming into a grunt of pain. "What sorcery is this?" he bellowed, his hands clutching at the wound. "Feel the power of unity," Sigurd shouted, his heart pounding. "We are not mere echoes, we are the storm." With that, he surged forward, emboldened by Brynhild's essence fueling his every move. He struck again, his sword piercing through the giant's defenses. Galdir's fury ignited anew, thrashing wildly, his massive fists swinging like thunderclaps. Yet the warriors pressed on, determined. Ragnar and Sigurd flanked him, their blades dancing in harmony, each strike a testament to their sacrifice. But Galdir, enraged and desperate, roared, "You will pay for this defiance." With a swift motion, he lashed out, sweeping the ground with his arm, sending Sigurd sprawling. "Ah!" Brynhild cried, her voice echoing through the collective spirit. "We cannot lose him." In that moment, she felt the threads of fate tighten, her own essence intertwining deeply with the warriors around her. Freyja, sensing the shift in the tides of battle, raised her voice high. "Stand firm, the light of our unity will not fade. Every warrior who fell for honor strengthens us. Let it guide our strikes." With renewed purpose, the warriors rushed to Sigurd's side, their spirits merging to form a shield of light. "We fight for one another, we fight for what we lost," he called, the words igniting a fire within the hearts of those around him. Galdir, now visibly weakened, tried to shake off the encroaching light. "You think this will stop me? I will not be defeated by your pathetic spirits." But Brynhild, her essence intertwined with them all, rose above him, her ethereal form glowing brighter than the sun. "You are wrong, Galdir. Our light is eternal. It shall pierce through your darkness." With a surge of will, she unleashed a torrent of energy that enveloped the giant. The light coalesced into a blending beam, piercing through Galdir's heart. "Feel the power of unity. Feel the strength of sacrifice." Galdir screamed, the sound echoing across the realms, his stone-like skin cracking under the intensity. The light exploded outward, washing over the battlefield, transforming despair into hope. As the dust settled, Galdir staggered, his form dissipating into shadows. "No, I am the storm, I am eternal," he roared one last time before the light consumed him entirely, erasing his existence from the fabric of reality. With the giant vanquished, silence fell over the battlefield. The warriors stood together, breathless and awed, as the spirits of the fallen began to fade, their purpose fulfilled. Brynhild's essence glowed brightly one final time. "Remember us, for in your hearts we live on." Freyja watched, emotions swirling within her chest. You have all fought with honor, and for that you shall be remembered in the halls of Valhalla, she whispered, tears glimmering in her eyes. As the last vestiges of light faded, the warriors turned to one another, their hearts heavy yet filled with the warmth of shared sacrifice. Sigurd placed a hand on Ragnar's shoulder. We have not just fought for ourselves but for all realms. Let us honor their memory. Indeed, Ragnar replied, his voice strong. Their sacrifice shall never be forgotten. We carry their legacy with us. Freyja smiled, her heart swelling with pride for the fallen. Together, we have conquered darkness. Together, we shall rise anew. And as the sun broke through the clouds, illuminating the remnants of battle, the spirit of hope unfurled across the realms, forever changing the destiny of gods and men alike. In the wake of their triumph, whispers of fate danced upon the winds, reminding all who would listen that in unity there lies an immeasurable strength that can turn the tide of even the fiercest storm. As dawn broke over the remnants of the battlefield, the first rays of sunlight pierced through the smoky haze, revealing the scars of war. The earth lay marred, a tapestry of battle and glory intertwined. Freyja surveyed the landscape, her heart heavy yet aflame with pride. The spirits of the fallen had fought valiantly, their sacrifices echoing in the very air they breathed. Yet, as the golden light washed over the warriors, a foreboding shadow crept into Freyja's heart. The victory against Galdur, formidable though it was, had drawn the attention of other dark forces lurking in the realms. In the distance, thunder rumbled, not of a storm but of a new threat awakening something ancient and vengeful. Freyja, we must gather our strength, Sigurd urged, his voice hoarse but resolute. This victory may have just been the beginning, the balance of power has shifted, and the giants will not remain silent. Ragnar nodded gravely, his spectral sword still gleaming in the daylight. I felt it too. The echoes of Galdur's defeat resonate across the mountains, stirring the remnants of his kin. We cannot allow complacency. We must prepare for what is to come. Freyja raised her chin, drawing strength from their resolve. You speak the truth, warriors. We have sent one giant back into the shadows, but there are more. We must rally our forces and prepare for the battles that lie ahead. Before her words could settle, a billowing darkness erupted from the mountains, swelling like a tempest, coiling around the hills. From this vortex emerged 3 new giants, brothers of Galdur, each one more fearsome than the last. Their eyes blazed with malice, their laughter echoed like the crack of thunder, heralding an onslaught that sought to reclaim the honor of their fallen kin. One has fallen, but we shall not falter, boomed the first giant, whose voice was like the grinding of stones. We are the children of Ymir. We will crush you beneath our wrath. Stand ready. Freyja cried, her voice cutting through the fear. We will not face them alone. We will summon more spirits, more warriors, if we must. With that, she summoned her magic, an ancient power coursing through her veins. The ground trembled beneath the might of her voice as she invoked the names of heroes long departed. Ethereal lights flickered in response, and from the ashes of the fallen, more warriors began to rise. Each was a guardian of honor, each sworn to protect the realms from despair. As they assembled, Brynhild's spirit, now woven into the fabric of Freyja's essence, illuminated the scene. Her presence was a guiding light, emboldening the gathered forces. Believe in the strength of our bonds, Brynhild's voice resonated, ethereal yet powerful. Together, we are unbreakable. From the ranks of the newly summoned emerged warriors of legendary renown, Shulain, fierce and swift, and Achilles, whose wrath was legendary. We answer your call, goddess, they declared, their spirits intertwining with the light of their comrades. The 3 giants, witnessing the unity of the warriors, roared with disdain. You summon the weak, their spirits are but echoes of time, we will feast upon their despair. The ground quaked with their laughter, sending tremors through the ranks of the defenders. Freyja raised her spear high, the weapon shimmering with divine energy. We fight not just for ourselves, but for every realm threatened by your malice. You will find no weakness here. With a thunderous clash, the battle erupted anew. The warriors surged forward, a tide of spectral light, their spirits burning bright against the encroaching darkness. Sigurd led the charge, his sword gleaming like a beacon of hope, while Ragnar fought beside him, their blades singing in unison. Shulain danced among the giants with unparalleled agility, his spear striking true as he darted between their massive limbs. You think yourselves mighty, but you are slow as stones, he chanted, his laughter cutting through the chaos. Achilles, ever the warrior, roared as he charged the nearest giant, the ground shaking beneath his fury. Come then, let us see if you can withstand the wrath of a true hero. His sword clashed against the giant's arm, sparks flying as he pressed forward, relentless and fierce. But the giants were not without their own power. The second brother swung his colossal arm, sending a wave of destruction through the ranks, scattering warriors like leaves in the wind. "You stand against the fury of the mountains. You are all but fools," he bellowed, his voice echoing with contempt. "Regroup," rang Freyja's command, fierce as a tempest. "We will not be broken." His spirit ignited with renewed vigor, infusing the warriors with a surge of energy. Her heart was a drum, beating in time with the rhythm of the battle. Brynhild's spirit echoed in their minds. "We are one. Together we shall face their darkness." As if fueled by her words, the warriors forged a circle, their powers intertwining, forming a wall of light against the onslaught. With a deafening roar, Galdur's brothers charged, unleashing a tempest of fury. Yet the warriors stood firm, the light pulling around them, pushing back against the tide of darkness. Freyja's eyes shone with determination as she summoned an incantation, weaving it with the spirit's power. "Light of the fallen, rise and shield us. Let their honor be our helm and their courage our sword," she cried, her voice rising into the chaos, a beacon guiding them. The light expanded, wrapping around the warriors, transforming them into a radiant force. United, they surged forward, striking back against the giants with renewed strength. Each clash of sword against stone echoed like the ringing of a bell, a testament to their defiance. "Charge!" Sigurd yelled, leading the push. "For the honor of Valhalla!" With a united roar, they met the giants, striking with precision and fury, each warrior channeling the spirits of those long lost. Galdur's brothers bellowed in rage, their massive fists swinging wildly, but the ethereal warriors danced around them, striking with the grace of spirits unbound. In a moment of chaos, Freyja felt a surge of darkness pull at her heart. One of the giants, enraged, lashed out, his immense fist powerful enough to shatter mountains. "You will pay for your insolence," he howled, swinging down with ferocity. "Freyja, look out!" Brynhild's voice cut through the haze, her spirit igniting with urgency. "Protect yourself." But Freyja stood her ground, resolute. "No, I will not hide while my warriors fight." With a fierce gesture, she summoned a light, wrapping it around her like an unbreakable shield. The impact of the giant's fist sent tremors through her, but she stood firm, her determination unwavering. In that moment, the light surged forth, enveloping the battlefield in brilliance. The warriors rallied, using the momentary distraction to counterattack, their strikes guided by the force of Freyja's magic. Together, they shouted, each voice a chorus of defiance. First giant staggered back, his face contorting in disbelief. "What sorcery is this?" he roared, his confidence wavering. "Not sorcery, but the strength of our unity," Sigurd shouted, piercing through the chaos. He leaped forward, his sword striking true, carving an arc of light that illuminated the darkness around them. The second giant, furious and desperate, charged forward, but Chulin was swift, darting behind him. With an agile leap, he pierced the giant's heel, bringing him crashing down. "Your time of terror is over," he taunted, his laughter ringing in the air. But as the giants faltered, the third sibling unleashed his fury, his massive form looming over the warriors. "You think you can defeat us? We will tear apart the very fabric of your unity." He swung his enormous arms, a whirlwind of destruction. "Stand together?" Freyja cried out, raising her spear high. "Let the light of our fallen guide our path. We are the guardians of Asgard." With a collective roar, the warriors surged forward, fueled by the spirits of their ancestors. They intertwined their strengths, creating a barrier of light that shimmered against the impending darkness. The air crackled with energy as they channeled their will, their souls merging into a single, radiant force. The impact of their combined strength collided with the giant, illuminating the battlefield in a brilliance that rivaled the sun. The giant screamed as the light engulfed him, tearing through the shadows that clung to his form, banishing the darkness into nothingness. As the dust settled, the remaining giant staggered, his confidence shattered. "You will pay for this," he bellowed, desperation clawing at his voice. But Freyja's spirit burned brighter than ever. "No more of your reign of terror ends here." With a final rally, the warriors charged, blades drawn, their collective battle cry echoing through the realms. They struck as one, the light piercing through the darkness, enveloping the giant in a blaze of radiant glory. The ground trembled beneath their feet. As the brilliant light enveloped the battlefield, the remaining giant, filled with rage and despair, reeled from the collective strength of the warriors. His enormous form swayed, casting a shadow that loomed over Freyja and the valiant souls assembled. "You think you can drive me back with mere flickers of light? I will crush you all," he bellowed, his voice shaking the very earth beneath their feet. Freyja, her heart racing and her spirit ignited by the unity of the fallen, seized the moment. "Now," she commanded, her voice steady but fierce. "Let us show this giant what it means to be united. Let our courage be his undoing." With a deafening roar, the warriors surged forward, a tide of glimmering light crashing against the giant's shadow. Sigurd led the charge, his spectral sword slicing through the air like a comet, illuminating the darkness surrounding them. For Valhalla, he shouted, his voice ringing with defiance as he struck at the giant's legs, aiming to bring him down. The giant howled in fury, twisting to shake off the encroaching warriors. "You are nothing but whispers in the wind," he cried, swinging his massive arm to swat at Sigurd. The force of the blow reverberated through the ground, but the warriors danced around, the essence of their comrades guiding their movements. "We are no mere whispers." Brynhild's spirit soared high above the fray, her luminous form radiating strength. "We are a storm, and we shall break you." With a furious battle cry, she unleashed a torrent of energy from her spirit, a radiant wave crashing into the giant like a tidal wave. The impact pushed him back, staggering under the weight of their combined might. "Feel the wrath of the fallen," she cried, her voice piercing through the chaos, a rallying point for the restless spirits once more joining the fight. Yet the giant, with hatred in his eyes, retaliated with a sweep of his colossal hand. "You dare strike me, I will scatter your light like dust." The air filled with debris as he swung, sending stones and earth flying towards the warriors. But the shimmering shield of light formed by the spirits held, absorbing the onslaught. The warriors pressed on, emboldened by their unity and the spirits that surged through them. "Stand tall, stand firm!" Freyja roared, her spear urging the light forward. "Let the echoes of our ancestors guide us, we fight for the realms." In the throes of battle, Sigurd faced the giant once more, his heart pounding with the weight of destiny. "You shall not win, your reign ends today." He lunged forward, striking the giant's knee with a fierce blow, causing him to stagger further. The massive form of the giant began to falter, the cracks in his once imposing visage growing wider with each strike. But the giant, in rage, unleashed a primal scream that resonated through the mountains. "I will not be defeated by the likes of you. I will reclaim the honor of my fallen brothers." With a roar, he lunged forward, swinging his fists like thunderbolts crashing to the heavens. Freyja felt the earth thrum with tension, the weight of destiny heavy upon her shoulders. "We cannot falter, we must push through until the end." Her voice, a fierce beacon amidst the chaos, filled the warriors with renewed resolve. They pressed on, their spirits intertwining, each strike resonating with the essence of those who had come before. As they closed in on the giant, he lashed out in desperation, swinging wildly. "Your spirits mean nothing, they fade like shadows," he shrieked, trying to bat away the advancing warriors. The ground trembled, and rocks exploded beneath the weight of his fury, but the warriors danced through the chaos, emboldened by their shared purpose. Achilles, ever fearless, charged in with a fierce battle cry. "You do not know the strength of mortals united with the divine, I will show you." He leaped high, his sword raised, driving it into the giant's shoulder. The blade pierced through, igniting a flash of light that momentarily illuminated the battlefield. The giant roared, swatting at Achilles with all his might, but the hero was swift, dodging and weaving as he continued to attack. "Your strength is no match for the bonds we share." Achilles shouted, launching another strike. The giant's furious gaze narrowed, the heat of his anger swelling like a tempest, but Achilles struck again, driving the point home. With a deafening crack, the giant stumbled backward, clutching at his shoulder, and for a fleeting moment, uncertainty flickered in his eyes. "You think this is victory?" he bellowed, breathing heavily. "I will return. A storm cannot be banished." "Perhaps," Freyja replied, her voice resonating with the courage of ages. "But today, you shall know the strength of unity. Today, you face the wrath of the fallen." She raised her spear high, the weapon shimmering with the collective light of their spirits, each flicker a testament to courage and sacrifice. As the giant's form wavered, the warriors rallied around her. "For our brothers and sisters," they shouted, their voices echoing like thunder, their spirits intertwining into a radiant spear of energy. "Together!" Freyja, feeling the power surge, thrust a spear forward. The radiant light surged towards the giant, striking him with unimaginable force. The impact exploded against his chest, sending shockwaves through the ground. The giant let out a roar that echoed across the mountains, his form cracking like ancient stone. The warriors, united, pressed the advantage, their strikes echoing through the air. "No more!" Ragnar shouted, striking alongside Sigurd, their blades singing in unison. "You shall not threaten our realms again." With every strike, the bonds of their unity grew stronger. The giant staggered, his confidence shattered, the darkness that once enveloped him receding before the brilliance of their combined might. I will not fall," he gasped, desperation clawing at his voice. But the warriors were relentless, a storm of spirits and strength, driving the giant back. Suchulain darted between them, his spear blur as he struck at the giant's ankles, causing him to stumble further. "Your foundation is crumbling," he taunted, a fierce grin on his face. With a final rallying cry, Freyja raised a spear high once more. Together, we will end this. Let the light of our ancestors guide us. The warriors surged forward, their spirits intertwining, coalescing into a brilliant beam that surged forward, piercing through the giantess' defenses. The ground shook beneath the force of their attack as the light enveloped the giant completely, illuminating the battlefield with the brilliance of 1,000 suns. No, he screamed, the darkness around him dissipating into nothingness, the shadows that had once claimed him fading into the ether. As the light consumed him, the giant let out one final, thunderous roar, the sound echoing as his form shattered into fragments, scattering like ashes upon the wind. The battlefield fell silent, the air thick with the remnants of their struggle. Freyja lowered her spear, breathless as the light gradually dimmed. Around her, the warriors stood, panting yet victorious, their spirits entwined in a tapestry of courage and honor. "We did it," Sigurd breathed, his voice a mixture of disbelief and triumph. "We faced the storm and emerged unbroken." Ragnar stepped forward, a solemn expression on his spectral face. "And we will remember those who fought alongside us. Their spirit shall never fade from our hearts." Freyja's gaze swept over her warriors, her heart swelling with pride. "You have all fought with honor, and for that, your names shall be etched into the annals of history. Together, we have conquered darkness and safeguarded the realms." As the sun broke through the clouds, casting golden rays upon the battlefield, the echoes of the fallen stirred within the hearts of the living. "This victory is but a chapter," Brynhild's spirit whispered, a gentle caress in the air. "Your strength will be tested again." Freyja nodded, understanding the truth of those words. "Whatever comes, we shall face it together. Our bond is unbreakable, our courage everlasting." With that promise echoing in the air, the warriors turned towards the horizon, the weight of their victory mingling with the certainty of future battles. The realms trembled with the whispers of fate, the threads of destiny intertwining, crafting a legend that would endure through the ages, a story of courage, sacrifice, and the unyielding strength of unity. In the face of darkness, they had risen, and together, they would always stand as guardians against the storm.